The sanctity of human life is under assault. Find out how and what you can do about it in this edition of Life Matters with Brian Johnston. Brian Johnston is the Western Director of the National Right to Life Committee. He has served in many capacities while advocating for innocent lives. As California Commissioner on Aging, as Chairman of the California Pro-Life Council, on the board of the National Legal Center for the Medically Dependent and Disabled. He is an author and lecturer, a film producer and commentator. And now here's our host, Brian Johnston.
Well, welcome back to Life Matters, your program on life, culture, and the battle of ideas. We have a very special program today. I was able to join my good friend Roger Marsh, who has a program statewide in California called The Bottom Line. Roger and another good friend, Beau Brians, who is director of the Life Fest Film Festival, had some time in April of 2017 to talk about the upcoming Life Fest Film Festival. If you don't know about Life Fest, go to lifefilmfest.com and find out more. This happens in Hollywood. The reason it happens in Hollywood is, as you know, that's really ground zero in the battle of ideas in the communications industry. Both the arts and the movie industry at large tend to emanate from not necessarily the city limits of Hollywood, but the general area of Southern California where there's a lot of entertainment industry. And as warrior in the battle of ideas, you want to be aware of it. And if you can get there, we encourage you to get there. Now, Life Matters is heard statewide in California. And if you hear this on a podcast, or if you hear this sometime in the next year or two, everything we're talking about still applies because Life Fest is part of that ongoing battle of ideas, and you can be involved from wherever you are. If you know filmmaker friends, make sure you tell them about Life Fest Film Festival. So what we're going to do is we're going to join in process the interview in The Bottom Line, where we talk about Life Fest, how it's changing the culture, and some of the opportunities that both new as well as established filmmakers have. They can come to the heart of Hollywood. You can network with folks you've never met before, but folks who want to make an impact and be involved in visual storytelling. So again, this is Life Matters, your program on life, culture, and the battle of ideas. And a very important element in that battle, Life Fest Film Festival.
You're listening to Life Matters.
Hi, I'm Kevin Sorbo, and I was very excited when I heard about Life Fest Film Festival. Life Fest is the film festival dedicated to showcasing films that affirm the intrinsic worth of innocent human life and the profound significance of each life. One seemingly insignificant person can in fact change the whole world in which he or she lives. That one singular life ends up being of vital importance. I'm so glad to hear that you are cherishing that in this film festival and are committed to artfully and creatively protect the lives of those who can't possibly promote themselves.
Life Film Fest is dedicated to bring the message of life to Hollywood and to our culture. Join us on May 5th and 6th. Go to lifefilmfest.com and get your tickets now. That's lifefilmfest.com.
Find out about the exciting cultural change impacting Hollywood. Go to lifefilmfest.com. And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
What we do at Life Matters, it's really a deep dive. We get into not the day-to-day stuff so much, the ephemera of the pro-life movement, because there's a lot of stuff happening, as we know.
Right.
We get into the deep principles that undergird what is the right to life. Why should there be a right to life? And what is it that really happened in 1973? Yes, it legalized the killing of babies, but what's more dangerous and ominous, the right to life as a legal premise was removed from our laws, and that has had grave implications. So we get into all of those implications, but that's on Saturdays at 1.
Okay, Saturdays at 1, the Life Matters program. Brian is here. He's brought a friend with him. Beau Brians is with us today talking about this pro-life film festival, which I think is great because movies really do have an impact on the culture, maybe even more so than, as much as I enjoy our conversations, Brian, the movies might actually have more impact. Beau Brians, welcome to the Bottom Line Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
This is a fun conversation to have here because of the nature of what we're discussing. We're talking about a film festival. So tell us about the 5x5.
So Life Festival is a film festival that's in Hollywood, and it's dedicated to showcasing films that reinforce the intrinsic value of human life, especially innocent life or life that is seemingly insignificant. So last year we had films ranging from narratives to documentaries, everything from facing issues of abortion to assisted suicide to people facing life-debilitating diseases. We even had a film it was a comedy about World War II vets that were trying to find their significance in a world that doesn't see their life as valuable anymore.
Interesting.
And so it's a real cool festival because we have filmmakers from all over the world. It's international. We have films of all different types. We have long movies. We got a lot of short films. And it's in Hollywood. It's a film festival that's in Hollywood, and it's for, like you said, impacting the culture, you know, because movies, whether people know it or not, when you go see a movie, there are values and there are morals that are in these movies. Sure. And however big or small, they do take seed in your brain and they take seed in your mind, and they influence the way you think and the way you interact with the world around you.
Well, I like the fact that this Life Film Festival takes on different aspects of life. I mean, here on this program, we do a Sanctity of Life segment, so it's not just we go out to abortion clinics every day, you know, that type of thing. That's a part of it. But elder care, assisted suicide. I mean, you mentioned these World War II guys, you know, in one of the movies saying, we're trying to find significance in our senior years. You know, that's a big issue for people, especially now as the boomer generation's getting older. I mean, that's just one of the aspects. And I'm grateful that the Life Film Festival is actually approaching this. How long have you been involved? Is this your first year, second year?
This is my second year being involved.
Okay. I was going to say, how does a young guy like you get involved in this? I mean, because Brian and I are grizzled veterans of the battle here, you know. But you're a relatively young man. You're an actor. You're pursuing all this, and yet you're also kind of in the brain trust that's bringing this festival to life. How did that come about?
Yeah, so I've been involved in pro-life movements in the past. I used to live in Hawaii, and I got involved with my brother out there praying in front of the Hawaii state court and everything like that. And I think those movements are really powerful. But since moving to LA, I was looking for a way to get involved out here and maybe get involved in a way that speaks to the culture of LA and to the culture of entertainment. So I got involved actually through being an actor. I came to the Life Film Festival a few years back, and there was a workshop for actors there. And then I met Brian, and I sort of caught vision of what he was doing and what he was trying to set up with this festival, and I got involved right away, and my role has sort of grown every year a little bit. Yeah.
He does good work. Let's face it.
I like the fact that you've got, you know, someone who is in front of the camera but also behind the camera, and Brian, it's got to give you hope knowing that there's a young guy like Beau who's out here saying, I want to be a part of not only making good movies, but I want this movement to have a voice, and the Film Festival does give him that.
Well, that's right, and Beau is awesome in and of himself, but we're looking at a culture right now that's changed dramatically. I used to teach literature, and when we were growing up, there was the notion that I want to write the great American novel.
Right, yeah.
Well, people actually people can read, but they don't, and that's the tragedy of our culture, is that in many ways we're functionally illiterate. We'd rather just see the images. And so kids are growing up now. There are kids that are 10 years old. I'm holding an iPhone. They make movies on their iPhone. They edit it on the iPhone. They add the sound music bed on the iPhone, and they're very good movies.
Yes, the quality's incredible, isn't it?
And so these kids are getting a sense of what we grew up on. We grew up watching Roy Rogers and Mickey Mouse Club, but our culture is imbued with the visual image, and it's the most important. So it's important, if we're going to impact our culture for life, we want to see these kind of films. Life Fest was established for the people already in Hollywood. There's folks like Ben Stein. Ben Stein started.
Yes.
He helped our very first one. If you've never heard Ben Stein speak on the life issue, then you've missed something. Ben Stein is extraordinary. He gets.
And if you don't remember Ben Stein, just say Bueller. I mean, we all know he's got that deadpan delivery. He's brilliant, and I love the fact that he really espouses these values that we share.
He does,
well.
And I think it's important for us as Christians is that we want to. Obviously, we're pro-life as Christians. But more than that, we want to bring the real foundation of our culture, which, you know, Ben Stein is Jewish, but he shares the foundational aspect of our culture that underscores the value of human life. Historically, Hollywood, classic Hollywood, the story arc of the classic film is a seemingly insignificant individual that goes through confusion, challenges, but makes decisions. Those decisions lead to certain implications, a lot of times opposition, danger, and there's always an all is lost moment, if anybody has studied scripts. And then, because of those moral decisions the individual has made, at the other end, they come through and they actually end up changing the whole world in which they live. And this is a classic Hollywood story. This, Wonderful Life. In fact, our signature award is the Spirit of Capra, and that's because Capra caught this message, and not just Wonderful Life. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It affirms that every life has value. The seemingly insignificant person actually has incredible value. And you know who said that in America? Is our founders. Our founders, and they weren't motivational speakers. They understand something that's a self-evident truth. You are incredible. A human being is an incredible thing. And you're endowed by your Creator with certain inalienable rights. The government didn't give it to you.
Right.
A just government's job is to protect the rights of human beings, and the life of human beings is why governments come into existence, not the other way around.
Yes.
Life Fest underscores that value. That's at the core of what America is. America, and that's why Americans tend to be rugged individualists. We've been reinforced with a great gift, and it's that message that every life has significance. Every life has significance. So we want to bring that back to Hollywood, because once Hollywood gets that back, it's going to send that message back out across the nation and around the world, as it always has. Hollywood influences all of Western culture.
And this year, we're really bringing it to the heart of Hollywood. Our Life Fest is at Raleigh Studios, which is founded in 1915. It's the oldest still operating independent studio that's in Hollywood.
Wow, that sounds cool.
It's the original Chaplin.
It beat Paramount.
It was Chaplin's. Yeah, it's across the street from Paramount. You know, if you come to Life Fest, you're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have tours. We're actually arranging tours of Paramount on Sunday. We hope we can do that. But you're going to see a lot of Hollywood history. If you're interested in films.
Yeah, what are the dates?
We're talking May 4th through 7th.
Yeah, May 4th through 7th. That's a Thursday through a Sunday. So there will be screenings every day. There's also going to be workshops of different people in the industry, different aspects in the industry, stuff for actors, stuff for filmmakers, stuff for editors even. And there's also the 5x5 film challenge. Do we have time to talk about this?
Well, let's take a quick breather here, and we'll I'm going to give some web information, and then we'll continue on with that part of the conversation. Joined in studio today here on The Bottom Line, our Sanctity of Life segment of the program. Beau Brians is with me, communications director, media mouthpiece, whatever you want to call yourself, vice president of corporate communications.
Yeah,
that's
communications director.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny, Brian's taking a swallow of water, and I think I made him lose it right there, but I was just having some fun with you.
I like it.
Communications director for the Life Fest Film Festival, and we're also joined in studio by Brian Johnston, who's the program host for Life Matters, lifematters.life, the program that you hear every Saturday from 1 to 1:30 right here on K-Bright and KCBC, talking about the issues of life that really do matter and how we think about them and think differently about them. We've got a web link up for lifematters.life and also the California Pro-Life Council with this Life Fest Film Festival. We're going to talk about 5x5 and other things as this conversation continues right here on The Bottom Line.
Life Matters continues after this.
Today's Life Matters program is sponsored by the California Pro-Life Council, the state affiliate of the National Right to Life Committee. California Pro-Life Council works through education, advocacy, and every election year working to elect pro-life candidates that will stand for innocent human life. If you'd like to be involved with the California Pro-Life Council, you can call the 800 number, 800-924-2490. That's 800-924-2490, and find out how you can help. You can volunteer, you can donate, and you can be involved right where you are. Go to californiaprolife.org. That's californiaprolife.org, californiaprolife.org.
And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
60 seconds for those who didn't hear the previous segment. What Life Fest is all about, where it's going to be, when it's going to be.
Yeah, so Life Fest is a film festival that's in the heart of Hollywood. That's May 4th through 7th. It's coming up this next month. Mm-hmm. And the whole film festival is dedicated to films that reinforce the intrinsic value of human life, especially the seemingly insignificant ones. So everything from babies in the womb to older people at the end of their lives still trying to find significance in the world.
Developmental disabilities,
people with
things.
Yeah, disabilities or even different diseases. We had one film come last year. It was a documentary about a guy from Japan who could, all he could do was still blink. Mm-hmm. And this disease had taken over his whole body, but his will to live was so strong, he had created this life. It was actually pretty amazing.
Fascinating. What an affirming weekend. I mean, you want to talk about being uplifted. There are so many negative messages in the media, and sometimes the movies are all about, well, this is the end of the world, but at least the guy got the girl, at least for some of the time. And I think you'd walk away from every one of the screenings that you'd see at the Life Fest and say, wow, I feel hopeful. I feel encouraged.
The whole weekend is like a celebration of life, and I feel like especially sometimes the pro-life movement can get so down because a lot of the stuff we are dealing with is really heavy. But at the same time, it's not that crazy of an aspect to say, hey, life is amazing and we should celebrate it. Everybody's life, no matter how insignificant society says you are, it still matters, and it's still incredible that you're alive and that you're here and you have something important to offer the world.
Now, you mentioned in our last segment, Beau, you mentioned that the fact that when you talk about a film festival, oftentimes when we think films, that means, well, everything's going to be an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and what if I don't want to sit through all those different screenings? But you and I know, and well, the three of us know here, that in the new modern world, as Brian was mentioning in the opening segment, where you pull out your iPhone and you make a 5-minute short that everybody likes, and you do a video podcast of it, and everybody loves it, you're talking about really short to really long to almost commercial length, all the way up to full-length movies.
Absolutely, yeah. We got short movies, we got everything in between. So, we'll have our feature film blocks. Those will usually screen more in the evenings. But we also have short film blocks, which is anything from 5 to 10 minutes. And I think last year we even had a microfilm block. Am I remembering that correctly?
If you really look, and the web is exactly right. If you have a 10-second film and it's good, we want it. In fact, on this point, for the first time, we're going to have a special music video.
Oh.
So if you have a life-affirming music video, we'll keep it open. We've actually closed submissions already on LifeFest. But if you have a music video, we want to really push life-affirming music videos. Submit that request to info@lifefilmfest.com.
Okay.
Info@lifefilmfest. Say, I've got a music video, or my friend, or my folks at church have this. We want to submit it. Please do that. We're going to have a special music video segment. And what a music video is a short film. It's a short film with real great music. And so that's a new addition to this is our 7th year at LifeFest.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but Beau is going to tell us about the 5x5.
Yeah, talk about the 5x5, because this is a director's challenge.
Yes, so the 5x5, it's called the 5x5 Filmmakers for Life Challenge. So that takes place over the 5 days pretty much leading up to LifeFest. That actually starts April 25th through April 30th. And what the challenge is all the filmmakers who have signed up, they are given 5 days to produce a 3 to 5 minute short film. And they're given a few different things that they need to include in the film, maybe a specific prop or location or a line or something, just to ensure that they're not creating this film beforehand.
Right.
But the whole goal is that a filmmaker will come together and put together a team, or possibly even put together a team through other people in the film festival, and create a 3 to 5 minute film that affirms the value of life through their movie.
Excellent. April 25th is the deadline, so we don't have a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time, yeah. So that one's actually coming up pretty quickly. We even have a producers meet and greet tonight in Hollywood, and that's for people that even maybe don't have a full team put together yet. They could possibly even come there and try to assemble a team there as well. But we're still accepting submissions up until the
25th. What's going to happen at 7 p.m. on the 25th, anyone who's registered, again, these are aspiring filmmakers, really making this for those who want to go into film.
Right.
We want to bring it to Hollywood.
Right.
We always have Hollywood professionals at every single one, some great folks in the faith-based film community, but also folks, John Schneider, they mentioned Ben Stein. We've had Clint Howard, Ron's brother.
Yeah,
He's just a great guy.
Oh, good.
But we want to get you, if you're interested in impacting the culture, we want to help you do it. If you want to do it for life, that's why we're here. We want to empower you to do it. So the 5x5 is a chance. I've been involved in 5x5 competitions. Sometimes they call them 10x10s in the secular community. 10 days to make a 10-minute film. You will find that having the gun to your head, so to speak, concentrates the mind wonderfully. And it's a great collaborative effort, and it's very rewarding. So if you know people, if you're listening now, and maybe there's folks at your church playing with video and stuff, if you want to get into making films, we want you to have this chance to work under pressure to make a life-affirming film. You're going to have to do it in 5 days. You're going to have to do everything. And then you're going to get an email on the 25th of April that gives you the prop, gives you the line, gives you the restrictions, so to speak. But then the rest is up to you. Within 5 days, you send back a link to your new film. And if you follow the rules, you're going to screen on the big screen in Hollywood.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Wow, what a great opportunity. Brian Johnston from Life Matters is with me today here on The Bottom Line in studio. Also, Beau Brians with the Life Film Fest. That's the website, lifefilmfest.com. Yeah. That's where everything is lined up, the 5x5, the screenings, the registration, everything that's there. What a fantastic pro-life cause. And I'm imagining someone like you, Beau, saying, okay, 5 minutes in 5 days, I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, have you worked on projects like that? I mean, as an actor, as a director?
Absolutely, yeah. I've worked on projects both as an actor in those types of things and as a director. director. It's really fun. It's like a challenge, you know. You're sort of testing your mettle, seeing how much you can do in a short amount of time. Every time I've done it, I've found I've been really surprised with what I could come up with, you know. Because you sort of, I think this is natural in life, but everyone sort of, you know, you get comfortable in a place and your boundaries sort of shrink to that spot, you know, and you forget that, like, oh, if I push myself, I could actually run further, or I could actually lift heavier, or I could actually sing higher, you know. Sure. And so, especially for aspiring filmmakers, for film, it's such an ethereal thing, and you can get so bogged down thinking about, I got to get a production together, I got to get a team together, I got to do all this stuff. And this just really makes it simple. Like, you show up and you do it, you crank it out, and then you'll feel a real good sense of accomplishment after creating this. Especially when you bring your family and friends to a screening at Raleigh Studios, you know, one of the oldest studios
right across from the Paramount
Hollywood.
lot. I mean, you were talking about Hollywood.
I mean, this is the center. And so you get to see it on a big screen, and it's really, really empowering. We're encouraging everybody to come out for it if you got any interest in film. A lot of student filmmakers actually last year came out and made films as well, because they're learning how to make these films at their film schools. But then a lot of the assignments even are constricting. They only get an assignment every once in a while, and they don't want to do stuff outside of class or that type of thing. And so this really gives them an opportunity to, like, hey, you can create something amazing and have it screened in Hollywood.
And acknowledged. And a lot of them are incredibly good. Yeah. It's just amazing, Roger, to see what, again, this next generation, they've lived with the screen longer than you and I have.
Right, they have.
They're immersed in it and how to manipulate it. We want to help them. We want to help them succeed. Yes. We want the next Spielberg to be making life-affirming films. And by the way, Spielberg often makes life-affirming films.
He
so
certainly does. He certainly does. And I love the fact that you are giving the technical opportunity, you know, the artistic opportunity, but also then you're pushing the needle in terms of what's the outcome of this. Because, I mean, let's face it, in Hollywood, you look at the formula, you see if I invest $200 million, I can make $600 million at the box office and residuals and all that stuff. And that's deemed a success. Yeah. Is there a method to the madness? Is there a message in the movie? Well, there has to be a message, but whatever it is, as long as it's okay with the fans, we're okay with that. You guys are putting this out there for the whole culture to say, hey, this will be a message that could impact billions of people, not just our core audience. And I think that's the thing that's so exciting to me is how do you make a 5-minute movie, you know, that would change somebody's life? But, but I've seen some of these movies. Right. What was the one, is it Coda or the one about Beethoven? It's about 7-8 minutes long.
It's excellent.
It's fantastic. Excellent, I mean, and that's the kind of the work you're going to be seeing at the Life Film Fest, which is coming up on May 4th through 7th. But then the 5x5 Challenge is the 25th through the 30th of April. So we're going to have to put all that information up at thebottomlineshow.com so you can check it out. Beau Brians is with me in studio today from Life Film Fest, and Brian Johnston from Life Matters. And I want to talk about that big screen experience as we continue right here on The Bottom Line.
Life Matters continues after this.
Life Fest Film Festival is the unique film festival dedicated to the significance of each and every human life. There's a competition at Life Fest for filmmakers. It's called the 5x5 for Life, where you get 5 days to make a 5-minute film that's guaranteed to screen in Hollywood. For more information, go to lifefilmfest.com or californiaprolife.org.
And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
The 5x5 Directors Challenge, which is April 25th through 30th. That's part of Life Film Fest. And then the actual Life Film Fest, which is coming up May the 4th through the 7th. In the last segment, Beau, you mentioned something about the big screen. And I have realized, because I get a lot of screeners, people send me links all the time. Hey, you want to interview this guy from this movie? Here's the link. You can watch it. And I watch it on a 13-inch screen on my desktop, you know, or maybe on my phone. And I was reminded of how I need to be in the big theater. Last fall when I saw a movie called Believe, which is a really nice Christmas movie that I'd seen a couple times that friends of mine had worked on. I saw them on my computer and I thought, well, I'm going to go to support them. And then we all watched it on the big screen. And there were people who worked on the movie who were just in tears because they didn't realize how big a deal it was. Isn't there something neat about seeing a project like this? It doesn't become a small project when it goes on the big screen.
Absolutely. Yeah, seeing something live and on the big screen, and that's literally larger than it is in real life. There is something magical about it, especially if it's, you know, we're talking about the 5x5. These are filmmakers that have made a film in 5 days, and they get it screened in Hollywood, especially something about seeing your work up on the big screen.
Right.
It really elevates the movie. And
it's no longer my kid had his iPhone and we threw something on YouTube and you can go watch it there.
Yeah.
Which you can, but along with billions of other things there. But to sit with an audience, see the crowd's reaction, see what it looks like, and if it's better than you envisioned.
And to be sitting in such a historic theater, too. You know, Life Fest this year is at the Raleigh Studios. That's downtown Hollywood. That's where Charlie Chaplin shot a lot of his old movies. That studio actually beat Paramount to that cross intersection right there. It's the oldest independent operating studio.
So you'll
there.
go to the Life Film Fest and stare across the street at Paramount.
That's
Yes.
right.
Wow.
And
So-
it's an operating lot. They shoot TV shows there now during the week, so we have it on the weekend. But
Nice.
this is a functioning movie studio, and you can see how it works. It's really a lot of fun.
Brian, how do we go? I mean, what
You
can
want
we
to go
do?
to lifefilmfest.com, and you see the links there. To get tickets, we actually still have the early bird discount on an all-access pass.
Okay.
That gets you into everything from Thursday through Sunday. We have kind of an afterglow on Sunday.
Okay.
The real intense screenings are going to be Friday and Saturday, and these are films from all over the world. Some curated films, in other words, films that we thought were particularly significant that we also got in. But these are films that it'll amaze you at the ability, the human story. The human story is so significant. We know we just had Easter. God really cares about the human story.
Yes, he certainly
gave
does.
himself to be one of us, and there's a reason for that, and it is significant. It'll really be very gratifying. It's lifefilmfest.com. And then the 5x5 challenge for aspiring filmmakers, I believe is very important. In some ways, that's become more important to me. As you mentioned earlier, Roger, we've got to get this next generation seeing the implications of their actions and what they can do
Right.
to change things. So the 5x5 film challenge, you can still register for that. And you can get your film literally on that same big screen. So we're very excited about that.
Whether you're an industry professional or whether you're an aspiring filmmaker, a student filmmaker even, you can sign up for the 5x5, and you have 5 days to make a 3 to 5 minute film and get it screened in Hollywood.
And how fun for you mentioned the pro and the am part of this, the amateur part. How neat for you to, if you get one of the submissions and you're screening up there, you're screening with the pros.
Yeah.
And you find out what your abilities really are.
Yeah.
Well, I like you framed with the Pro-Am. We've had professional gaffers, professional lighters that will work on an amateur film because they love it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the industry. It really is a passion.
You do see more of that now. I mean, the tech quality has gone up exponentially in the faith-based and pro-life film industry, and it has to be that you see crews. I know the Kendrick brothers will find guys.
Oh,
that will,
yeah.
Hey, I'll give you a weekend. Sure, let me help out
That's
here
right.
because you need this done right. Because those are those little detail parts that kind of separate the men from the boys.
It's a chance to network with people you'd never meet otherwise if you want to get involved in film. So, again, there's an early bird pass that's available. I forget when it cuts off, but go online. Still available now. You get half price for the all access. And then there's individual showings. There's different packages you can buy to get in. And, again, if you make a 5x5, you're working to get in, and you'll be able to see your own film on there. Right. But we want to change Hollywood because we want to change our culture.
Amen. Amen. Brian Johnston from Life Matters, Beau Brians with the Life Film Festival and lifefilmfest.com. I appreciate the work that you guys are doing on this project. I encourage all bottom line listeners to go to lifefilmfest.com. Get that early bird pass. If you know somebody who can make a movie in 5 days, in 5 minutes, the movie's total length is 5 minutes left. You don't have 5 minutes to make the movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, you have 5 days.
You've got 5 days to make a movie that will run 5 minutes and show on the big screen. Beau and Brian, thanks for being with me today here on the program.
Thank you.
Learn more about everything in today's show online at lifematters.life, where you'll find all the resources you need to protect life. Life Matters is a production of the California Pro-Life Council, the state affiliate of National Right to Life.